had no other option than to put my hands above my head and say, "Tranquilo, hombres, por favor, calm down."
Hello, everybody. This is episode 5 of the podcast.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant, but yeah, it is episode 5. yeah.
Welcome back.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good week.
Lazy,
Okay.
and I'm slipping back into bad habits because it's the holidays. So I've been going to bed very late, waking up late, but I'm going to try and stop that. How about you?
Yeah, not a bad week. Busy.
You've been out walking, haven't you?
I've been trying to get back into it. I'm not in shape at all. I was actually very bad since
Get back in shape.
Yeah. Get back to some sort of normal fitness level. But yeah. Good.
What did you look like when you were a teenager? Were you
I was always
a big guy when you were a teenager?
I was always a bit chubby, like, but I was never this big, like, so. But I think it comes from, like, I used to be an electrician before, so like I was always doing physical labor, so every day we're burning calories. But then when I went into management and then opened a bar and stuff, it's just, you don't do the same amount of work. So.
Well, I haven't been doing a lot of exercise, but my knee's been giving me jip. But I've tried to watch what I've been eating. I didn't have McDonald's for a week.
Poor McDonald's.
Yeah, that's actually pretty amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, I did notice.
However, I did have one the other day, but I hated it, so I'm really going to try and knock them on the head.
That's good. Good. All right, sure, we won't dilly-dally. We'll move on to the Room 101. Here we go.
Yeah, I can't wait. Room 101 for this week. I can't even... I just said again. I'm trying desperately not to say
There was one comment where somebody mentioned that he says too much and he's taking it to heart. I didn't even notice.
I really would. I really did think I'm just going to try not to say it, but I already did it. I can't even remember what we talked about. Now I'm really trying not to say All right. So I can't remember what we talked about last week.
Digital money.
So yeah, digital money, various methods of payment. So this week it's over to Jason.
Yep.
What would you like to put in Room 101?
Today, I would like to put the current electric car drivers.
I don't even know what that means.
So, like, people with electric cars.
Oh, cars. I thought you said cards. All right.
That's the pikey in me.
Fucking electric cars.
Fucking electric cars. Well,
electric car drivers.
Yes, and
people who worry about the environment.
It's not what you're going to think. I have basically 2 beefs with them. One from this side of the world, from China, and one from the rest of the world. And it's not because I have anything against electric cars. I think it's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you.
I'm on tenterhooks.
Okay. So the first one here is you might be aware or might not be aware that in China, especially in bigger cities, it's quite difficult to get a registration plate for a car now if you want to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Tianjin used to be you just had to pay for it, but I think they've gone into this lottery system. Basically, you buy your car and you go into enter, and either you have to pay a lot of money or else you enter a lottery and you might be lucky and get registration. And plus, on top of that, even when you do get the registration plate, because there's so many cars on the road, this is solely because there's so many cars on the road, they want to kind of try and slow it down, I'm guessing. Right?
Which makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And then also to like help traffic, even if you do get a registration plate, you can only drive 4 weekdays. So one day you're not allowed to drive, basically. Yeah. However, if you get an electric car, you get a little green license plate, and it means... So if you don't have to enter this lottery thing, you just get... I think you might even get it for free. People can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there, but...
And you can drive every day.
But it's a different colour registration plate. No, you will notice now. You'll go out tomorrow and you will notice it, right?
Yeah.
Before I thought, but the reason I noticed it was because I cycle quite a lot here in Tianjin, and I'm gonna try and say this as nice as possible. I've noticed that the guys with the green license plates are absolute bastards.
Really?
They're the ones that like they think they own the fucking road, like.
They're like the new BMW drivers.
Yeah, but it's like, I think they thought like, oh, I'm so special now, I can do whatever the hell I want, basically. So there are a lot of options when it comes to electric cars, because the Chinese have got a good few of them. It's not just Tesla and a few others. They have Chinese versions as well. But it always seems to be these white, I think it's Chow Chow or something, these white Chow Chow drivers. They're just constantly cutting people off. And it's like they got handed the green plate and were like, yeah, that's basically a license to do whatever the fuck
Like
I want.
diplomatic immunity, mate.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Go for it. Like Lethal
They
Weapon
think
2.
it is. Even the police don't agree with them, of course. Like, they're like, no, you still have to follow the rules. Like, but
I just imagine him stepping out like fucking Joss Ackland from Lethal Weapon 2. Diplomatic immunity. Just get away from me.
it's an electric car, man. I can do whatever I want.
To be honest, I feel like a bit of a... I don't notice unless they're plugged in and being charged. I wouldn't really notice if it was an electric car or not. I remember the other day I was in a Didi car and it was really quiet. And I said, is this an electric car? And he was like, no, it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Which I guess is... What is that?
A hybrid is basically, again, I think I have this right, but they have an engine, but I think the engine is only there to create electricity to power the wheels. So basically, there's like a generator.
So what's the difference?
The other one is batteries, basically. There's no engine whatsoever. So this one, the hybrid, you have to put petrol in it. But as far as I know, it's it's a generator and it's creating electricity to power the wheels. I could be wrong on that now, but I think that's basically.
Well, this Chow Chow car that you're talking about, is it a big one or a little one?
No, it's just like just a standard.
That's how I deal with cars, mate.
Yeah, standard like
Colour or
like,
big or little.
You know the taxi shaped cars here.
Yeah,
it's basically like one of them, but they seem to only come in white, basically.
Right.
The only reason I know about these green plates is because like at least 10 of them have like almost run me over. I don't know if it could be the same lad now trying to kill. I might have somebody out there trying to kill me. Like, I don't know, but no, I don't think so, because I'm not that.
Give me an example of, because if we're going to put him in room, because it's an environmental issue. But if we're going to put him in room 101, you're going to have to give me a specific example of something that happened to you.
No, but like I could give you anytime like I basically end up at a crossroads, one of them ends up like cutting in front of me or trying to knock me off the bike, and it always seems to be these Chow Chow guys. Like,
really? Maybe they are up their own arse a bit.
I feel a little bit like I wouldn't mind having an electric car, to be honest with you. But like, obviously we all live in apartment blocks here in China, so like you live on the 24th floor, I live on the 16th floor. Where am I going to plug it in? Like, am I going to throw a fucking cable out the window? And you know what I mean? Like, that's a fuck ton of copper. Like they obviously must have like.
But they have, don't they have like, they have charging stations, and also I think isn't it true that if you have like a parking space, they have
you can, but again, like it's all costly, like, you know what I mean. So it's like it's while I think it's great, and this kind of leads me on to the people in the West that. I think that like at the moment they're like, nah. I can just picture them in like a smoking jacket with a pipe, kind of looking down on all us peasants driving around with petrol cars, and they're like, oh, they're screwing up the environment.
Do you remember that episode of South Park when everyone had an electric car? And every time they pulled up, someone would go, oh, you've got an electric car, nice one. And then they go, thanks.
Yeah. I did see that. Yeah, no, it is, but it is like that. I think it used, like in Los Angeles and stuff, it used to be the Prius, which was a hybrid one. Like, Prius drivers were known as being like,
that was it, Prius.
Obnoxious, like, you know. And then, like, I have a whole...
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever get a look at the...
No, because they always seem to have the tinted, like, you know, they're really shitty tinted windows as well.
Yeah.
Where, like, you know, it's really blacked out, but the little corner bit by the wing mirror is like, so like I could probably get a look at it.
Because if they didn't have tinted windows and you could get a look in and you could say, look at that smug little bastard with a little smirk on his face. Yeah. He'd probably have an earpiece in, talking on his phone as well.
Yeah, definitely, like
something like that.
Definitely has a crystal ashtray on the dashboard as well. Like.
Yeah. Well, okay. Didn't you say you had two?
No, but basically, like, so I have my beef with the Chinese. They thought that when they got the license and they can drive every day, that the government went, No, you have a license to kill now, basically,
Yeah.
right?
They're like
so-
they think they're like cock of the school.
Exactly. So that's my beef with electric car drivers in China. Currently, I'm sure it's all going to change, like, once more and more people get it. And then the one back in the West is more like, I think the options are a little less. Like, you have Teslas, and, like, I think Teslas are awesome cars. They're brilliant, but they're freaking expensive. Like, you know.
Elon Musk is the most the
Yeah, he's
richest
the
man
richest
in the
man.
world now.
Well
isn't he?
done, Elon. Well done. Fair play to you. I like him. He's not bad. But again, like, unless you have a house where you can put one of these supercharging stations in the house and blah blah blah, you're basically screwed. You know what I mean? It's not like who has time to go to a petrol station and plug their car in for fucking 10 hours every day? Like,
Well, how long does it take?
I think the fast ones you can charge them pretty fast. Like, I think currently they're basically only good for, you know, if you're city driving and you have a place both either ends to charge.
Then it's
them,
not so
like,
bad, I suppose.
Yeah, but I'm sure not shitting on China, but I'm sure the Chinese ones are, you probably have to charge them a lot more than Teslas, and the Teslas do have these supercharging stations which are more and more coming. But
Well, the other thing is,
just-
I always think about electric cars that still have to get electricity from somewhere, don't we?
See, that's the other thing. Like, I think from a pollution point of view, it definitely will help. But I don't know enough about it to say that they're going to be better, because I always think as well, like, if we all change to electric cars, what are we going to do with all the petrol cars? Like, are they just going to end up in a landfill, or can we actually convert them all? I don't know.
To be honest, I often wonder about that, like where
'Cause, like, I think
all these cars are anyway.
I think the UK have promised to go all electric by, like, I don't know, 2030 or something mad
Fucking
like
see
that.
if that happens.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, fair enough, but, like, there must be a couple of million cars, like petrol and diesel cars in the UK alone. What are you going to do with all of them? Like, just fucking drive them off the edge of a cliff or what?
Yeah, that's a good
You know,
point.
so-
I don't know. You have to think of something. I don't know. It'd be something like Blue Peter. You'll have to turn them into something else, like
Exactly.
flower beds or something. I don't know. All right. Well, let's make a decision. Well, I'm tempted to say no.
It's not the cars, no. It's the drivers I'm
Okay.
putting in there at the moment.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
people that own them currently.
I guess when it became more.
I've
common-
nothing against the cars. I think it's great if anything that can put less, like, smog in the air, especially in China. I'm for. Don't get me wrong, but it's just this kind of, here they have a bit of a psycho attitude, and in the West they have a bit of a smug attitude. Like,
Yeah.
look at me, I'm saving the planet. What are you doing?
Well,
I'm on a bicycle, by the way, so
nailing it.
go screw you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I haven't experienced, and I do a bit of cycling as well, and I haven't experienced what you've experienced, and I would be reticent to put electric cars into the
No, it's not
into
electric
Room 101.
cars.
However,
Not electric cars.
smug drivers and dick
Yeah.
drivers,
Smug electric car drivers, yeah.
I've got no problem with.
And I don't want to put people off buying electric cars. I think you should, but just
Don't be a smug fuck.
just behave yourself like you would if you had a fucking diesel or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just drive and
All right.
don't, like, not all of us have 6 million quid to buy a Tesla, and you know what I mean.
All right. Well, let's say then. Yeah, I guess if you definitely, and if you get an electric car, you should have to undergo some kind of course to make sure.
Unsmugginess course, like.
Yeah,
or-
you just remember who you are, where you came from. You're still Jenny from the block.
Yeah, and for the Chinese ones, just because you have the green license doesn't mean that you can kill people.
Right.
Basically.
Sorted.
Cool. Okay, so we're on to Snacks Unknown.
So it's me this week.
Last week we had a bit of duck neck and we revisited the chicken leg.
The
And,
duck neck's amazing though, isn't it?
Duck neck. Yeah, I didn't have any of it, but I'm definitely going to get it again.
Even the chicken, even the chicken.
The chicken
foot
foot was better. Yeah, I definitely, like, if there was, like, limited stuff on a you know, if you go for a meal with Chinese people and they were there and there was other stuff I didn't want, I'd probably give them a go again. Like,
Give him a nibble.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be honest with you. This week when I was thinking about Snacks Unknown, because I think I was having a bit of trouble, and then I thought to myself, let me ask you a question. What is the common denominator with all the snacks we've had so far? What's always been the same? This is kind of a trick question. I'll tell you.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you. We knew what they were. We knew what they were.
Okay.
We always knew what it was,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if we didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
So this week I was thinking, and I couldn't really think of anything like in my mind, where I thought, oh, let's go and get that. So I thought, what am I going to do? And then I thought, of course, I'll just go out my house, I'll walk down the road, and I'll just buy 2 things.
Oh, we're gonna end up eating fucking a Brillo pad. No,
Yeah.
Because you just picked up a random piece of.
Well,
I don't know what that is.
So I tell you what I did. I kind of I've got a few things today. Actually, it's more like a picnic than a snack. And but I thought I'll just go out in the street. I've walked down the street near my. It's like a really sort of real Chinese street. There's loads of shit going on, and I just thought I'm just gonna find 2 things. I'm just gonna point at 2 things. I have no idea what they are. I didn't even ask what they are.
Cool.
I can kind of I guessed one of them, but one of them I've got no idea.
Okay.
But I've coupled it with 2 classics
Okay.
that we needed to do.
Okay.
At some point on this on this thing.
So on the week that I started my diet, you decided to get a fucking feast.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. I'll tell you the first one. I bought it and it was next to savoury stuff.
Okay.
That's the only clue I've got. There was on one side there was like all the bits of a chicken, and on and on the other side there were all these little trays. There was some peanuts there. Might have been something else, but it was in this side. Okay. And then I've got something else that came from like a cake shop, like a sweet shop.
All right.
So this is the first one. Again, I didn't even ask what it was, so I've got no idea. And
we'll put a little
we'll put a little photo up.
caption up of what it is. Oh my god.
There it is.
Oh my god, it's wobbly.
It is very wobbly. It came in strips. I tried just to buy 2, and the woman said, you can't just buy 2, so I've got a whole bag of them. But it's like little sort of gelatinous rectangles with things inside. To me, it reminded me of, have you seen Jurassic Park? Of course you have.
Yeah.
It looks like something from the Cretaceous period that got sort of preserved in amber.
But instead of amber, it's jelly.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
When you took it out first, I was a little worried it was pig's ears.
No, it's not pig's ears.
But I can't figure out what those bits are. Are they?
There were some different colours actually.
Are they bits of potatoes or?
Honestly, mate, I didn't even ask. I did not even ask this time. So, the feel. Rubbery.
It feels like a bit of jelly, like cold jelly, like as if in jelly, like the dessert jelly.
Yeah, it's like gelatinous, and it's got the look. What do you think that is inside it?
I thought first, is it? It's some sort of vegetable anyway. I think.
Do you think?
Is it? It's not potato, is it?
Like I said, to me, it really looked like some sea creature that had been preserved in something.
Oh yeah, it's probably gonna. It's hardly jellyfish, is it?
I honestly don't know, but it was in a savoury bit section. But that means fuck all, doesn't it? Nose, smell. It smells savoury, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It smells meaty.
It smells like everything out of one of those shops, doesn't it?
That's true. Yeah, but it smells.
It
smells more meaty. It smells meaty.
This could be like the
like
marrowy kind of
like the jelly you get in the pork pie.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. I just can't stop flapping it around.
It's weird, isn't it? It is a weird food. All right,
here we go.
It's pretty salty.
It ain't bad though. It's not like it's.
Tastes like gravy.
It's like gravy it's like jelly gravy, like yeah. Yeah.
Oh, why the fuck do people eat that, man? You think it's alright?
Yeah, I wouldn't get it, like. But
that's almost making me gag.
I hate jelly anyway. I hate that texture. The kind of rubbery.
What is that stuff inside it? Is it like bits of fatty meat? I think it is, I think it's like bits of like sort of pork fat.
Yeah, something like that.
Wrapped in a sort of pork pie style jelly.
Yeah. To be honest, it's a bit bland, isn't it? It's
quite salty.
If I was starving, I'd eat it. I wonder if you threw it in a frying pan, would it all melt?
Who fucking came up with this idea?
Somebody definitely just... Desperation, like.
I'd like a load of fatty pork rinds, that's what I think it is.
Yeah, somebody fried up a lot of belly pork.
Someone went, is that a Rowntree's jelly you've got over there? Hang on a minute.
I reckon somebody fried up a lot of belly pork, went to bed, woke up the next day, and this is what was left in the pan, basically.
I'll have another bite.
It's not offensive, like, but it's
I mean, it's kind of.
It could be bits of anything, intestine or anything.
Yeah, I mean they're the bits of fat because I quite like the pork belly and But
That's
sometimes
good.
if it is very good, but if you get like a cheap one, the fat is great. I like
Do you
the
know what
I like
those
I like
little-
the fat to melt and
Do you know what those little bits are like? You know when you have a nice barbecue rib, you know the sinewy bit at the top.
yeah.
That's what that's like.
It's
Those
all
little
gristly
bits.
and-
Yeah, it's like somebody like lobbed off a load of them.
Let's dump that. Dessert?
Whatever.
You ready for dessert? I don't even know what to do with this thing now. Right, I'll get dessert out. Like I said, I went over to the next counter. I reckon this is going to be good, to be honest. But it was the only thing that I didn't know what it was. So, there was two, but they've stuck together.
This looks like it's
I think
99.9% sugar.
Let's just eat one. But it looks a little bit sort of like a shiny pretzel. Huh.
Looks like a pretzel that fell into a bowl of
I think it's
sugar.
maybe some kind of. I think it's like, well, I mean, you can see. I think it's like a big noodle wrapped in like sugar. If you want to have the first bite, you should, as you're the guest. I bet it's going to be okay. This.
This is probably going to be awesome. It's very sticky,
Yeah, like sticky.
texture wise.
Yeah, it's very sticky.
do you
it's
know,
quite
it-
hard.
It
When you
looks
pull it
like
apart-
it's fat, coated in sugar. It looks like it's like a bit, the bit off a pork chop.
Yeah.
Not the fatty outside, but you know
But
the bit in the
this
middle.
this was in like a sweetie cakey shop.
Yeah, but you know these guys will do anything with a bit of food. Like
Nose. Just smells.
smells like a cake shop, a
smells
Chinese
like
cake shop.
It
Like,
smells sweet. Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah,
That's pretty fucking good.
yeah. It's also pretty dangerous, I reckon.
Yeah.
That's like 50% fat, 50% sugar.
Oh, it's pretty good though.
Oh, it's awesome. I better not eat anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a
Sorry, you've just started your diet. Haven't
It's
you?
like a donut gone fucking absolutely wrong, isn't it? It's like the
It
donut
does taste like a
didn't-
donut, yeah.
It's like the donut didn't rise. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like it's like a condensed donut basically. It's very good.
Oh, that's delicious. So what is it inside then? Just batter.
I reckon it's batter, but there's definitely some sort of fat like
Oh
oil
god, I
or
can't stop
something.
eating that. It's fucking like crack cocaine.
I'll put that back.
Oh, that's fucking delicious.
Oh my god, that was good. Jesus.
Very nice.
Yeah, we're probably gonna end up caning them later on.
Oh god.
That is
That
phenomenal.
might be the first snacks unknown that I actually eat after you've gone home.
That one's good. That's good.
All right, well they were the two strange ones,
Okay.
and the other you're gonna know this. I know we said we'd move away from crisp, but I thought we've got to do this. Can you guess what it is?
I'm guessing cucumber.
I just thought you can't
Yeah,
do
we
this.
have to.
Can't do this whole thing and not have
It was lingering out there. People probably were like, "Hey, why don't they try the cucumber ones?"
So, yeah, it's another packet of crisps. It's a flavour I haven't really seen anywhere else. It's cucumber flavour crisps.
Yeah. No, every time I walk past one of these, is I look at it and go, "Why?" Because I've nothing against cucumber, but it is a rather tasteless affair.
You know, everyone's going to be... Because I know my little brother who also lives in China, he hates cucumbers.
Okay.
And he just thinks these are just like the devil's work.
Yeah, they are. Like it's like.
But I don't think they're that bad.
Oh, you've tried them, have you?
I have tried
I
them.
haven't- I
I'm
haven't
going to
actually
give them another go.
But these they look like crisps, right? And
They do. They give the impression of crisps. They smell well weird though.
it smells like a cucumber. In fairness, that it does smell like.
I
a
suppose,
cucumber.
yeah. And all right, ready to try?
Yeah. See, yeah, I'm afraid that I'm going to like these.
I honestly
No,
think they're not
that they
that.
don't.
I honestly think they're not that bad.
I-
I'm weird, aren't I?
They're just.
I like cucumbers though.
It's like somebody took something perfectly good at crisp and fucking spoiled it. Like
It's a weird flavour of crisp compared to what we're used to. Like I think in Britain and Ireland we are spoiled with crisps.
yeah, but
In my opinion.
like cheese and onion, salt and vinegar. I think anything outside of that, it's like you don't really need to go any further. Like, but
It's a very weird option for a crisp.
I tell you now, out of the three of them, like we've had honey and butter,
They were weird.
crayfish.
They were good.
They were good. These are terrible. It's just So it's like you're eating something bad and somebody's like, yeah, maybe you should have a salad, mate. Maybe you should have a salad.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know what I
weird
mean? It's
flavour.
like, yeah, no,
It's a
that's-
weird flavour. All right, well, I just thought we better get those.
Yeah,
out
no,
of the
no,
way.
it's good, it's good. To be honest, I was probably going to bring them out at some stage.
It's one of
myself,
the
anyway.
it's one of the weirdest like sort of Western style snacks that I've
Yeah.
seen here. When they came out, I think every Westerner was like, "You fucking seen them cucumber crisps?" Weren't they?
There's one more that I haven't seen them in a while, so they might have been discontinued. It was cream soda flavoured. I don't even like cream soda. on
That
its
doesn't even
own.
make any sense.
No, it's like, come on, like, what are you doing?
There's
But
no way you've got any kind of cream soda flavouring into these crisps.
I think, to be honest with you, if they had,
I mean, you can dry cucumbers and chop them up and stick them in crisps.
yeah, but the only thing with, like, if that was like a natural, if they had put a bit more salt on them, and like it does taste like chemical cucumber. It doesn't really taste like that they've like dried cucumbers and put it on them.
Yeah, it's like taking something that is kind of healthy and fresh and just fucking with it.
Yeah, banging it on. Yeah.
All right, well, the last course of the picnic
Oh, we have more.
is this is another thing that I thought we'd do, and I'm sure some of us would have done it at some point. But the other day, just before, I went into the local shop there. It must have been such a weird question, but I just said, "What's your cheapest baijiu?"
Oh, no.
And baijiu translates literally as white
Alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah. Or
yeah.
they often call it white wine, but it's a slight mistranslation. It's
Yeah.
like I guess it's like rice
They
wine.
call
isn't it?
everything wine here, and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
a poor translation of beer will end up being, give me some wine.
Yeah, they do.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's what I have to tell my students all the time. We don't. We say alcohol, not wine, for everything.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure if it's that bad. The bottle looks quite pretty, but I just.
They always do, though.
But I just thought there's a lot of levels. It's like the Chinese rice wine. It's rice wine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of levels, isn't there? There's some very expensive stuff
Yeah.
and some very cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is that bad, but I just thought if we're gonna do snacks unknown,
Yeah,
I'm not bringing in
it's
a
good to have a
I'm
little-
not bringing in a bottle of Moo Tai, 150 quid a bottle.
Yeah.
So I said, and he looked at me weird because he sees me every day. All I ever buy is fags and water. And then I was like, "What's your cheapest bottle of baijiu?" Mate? That's a weird question to ask. It's like walking in going, "I want the worst alcohol you've got." So I'm gonna pour you a glass.
Yeah. Jesus, that's a big glass, man. Oh, okay. Thankfully, it's a small bottle.
I won't fill it.
It's actually a nice little bottle.
Yeah, that's what. To be honest, I think this is not. I wanted to get the nasty shit. You know what I mean? But
But you know you can get it in plastic bags here. That's what I was hoping.
he didn't
you were
have
gonna
that.
put.
He
Okay.
didn't have that. I said, "Are you sure?" I actually said to him, "I said the bottle's quite pretty. Are
You
you
can
sure
buy like
this
a
is?"
5 litre fucking plastic tub of it as well in some supermarkets for like 20 quid. Like.
Well, one day we'll do that. One day we'll do that. That
cheap.
smells.
Oh my God. I reckon I lost a couple of degrees of my eyesight just by the sight alone.
Sometimes when you open a bottle, and it's like, "Oh my God, my fucking corneas just came off," and then now I'm gonna put that in my stomach.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, it's the cheapest baijiu.
Oh.
Should we do the whole thing? What is it? It's about a double, isn't it? Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah. All right.
Just the whole thing. Bang it down.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Cheers to
Cheers.
Tranquilo Hombres.
Tranquilo hombres.
Go.
Yeah, it's not great though, is it?
That's not the best. That's not the best.
Oh, sorry if we're struggling. Fins on the floor.
Oh God. Oh, it's that thing where it like coats the back of your throat.
Yeah, I know, and the beautiful
it
thing about
feels
this
like
is,
it feels like every time you breathe, it's like gurgling in baijiu. It's like
the beautiful thing about this, Finn, is it's going to be with us for the next 3 days because every time you burp, you're going to get that flavour back.
oh Jesus, that's not the best.
It's not great, but yeah.
Well, anyway, I just thought it was a good way to end the picnic. Wash down the cucumber crisps, the meat jelly stick.
So like, yeah,
That fucking donut was delicious.
that donut gone wrong was the nicest thing I ever like. Yeah, that thing is dangerous. Very
Alright.
good. Thank you for that.
No worries, mate. Look forward to your picks.
Oh, I have I have an
You got something
interesting.
in mind?
I have an interesting series coming for the next one. You will enjoy it. Well, you won't enjoy it. Well, you might enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy one of them for sure. Anyway, but
Great news. All right, snacks unknown.
excellent.
TikTok review. I'm Yeah, to be honest, over the last few weeks, I've I have enjoyed a lot of the videos. I'm not gonna. I'm almost embarrassed at myself. It's still a strange thing to me.
Yeah, it's to be honest with you, I don't like. I like looking through them now to find a few clips for this, but I kind of stopped with it. But I do think it's worth carrying on because it seems to be what the people are doing nowadays. You know.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to these videos. I am.
So the first one I've chosen, basically, definitely this would happen if I brought my two lads skimming stones on a river.
I used to love doing that. What was the highest number of stones skims you
I
ever
got
did?
a 14 or something once.
Fucking hell, that's pretty good.
But we were on this strand.
I think I topped out at 7 or 8, and I was pleased.
I was on a strand that was like, had the flattest, like...
Perfect condition.
All the stones were like perfect little discs. Every one of them was like, it was like whatever, 14 I think. But that was like, I might have been under the influence or something as well. So
So you were all relaxed and...
I might have just miscounted as well.
You were doping.
Could have been 4.
That's what you were doing. Yeah.
Yes, it
They
was.
were all perfect little discs. You were hammered.
什么叫大孝子37？
It's the tune again.
But my two boys are lovely little
I
kids,
don't-
right? But if I brought them skimming, I'd definitely get a rock in the head, like, and I'm banking on it to be the small fella. Like.
I don't mean to laugh so much at that because that also, again, like I said before, like I said with that other one, that looked like a life changer for that kid. You know what I mean?
I think it's the dad that gets the smack in the head, though. To be honest with you, but definitely like he's looking around so innocently for another rock as well. Like
he's like, what did you think about that? He steps right into it, doesn't he? Like it probably did more damage.
boulder in the face.
He was stepping into it. He wasn't like leaning back or anything. There was no defensive maneuver whatsoever.
He absolutely did not see that coming.
He looked like he was trying to put it into the top corner.
That
was a good one, but
he's a Chinese dad. He definitely bet him up and down the strand as well. Like.
Yeah. I mean, he was probably all right, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I hope
just,
so.
Just a bit of a rock in the head. He'd be all right.
I hope he was all right.
The next one is kind of similar.
That makes me want to skim stones again.
Yeah, skimming stones is amazing.
You can't really do it in a city down the river. I suppose you could.
You could. Do you ever go to the museums here? The big one, the one with like the dinosaurs and stuff. They have like a big kind of a lakey thing out the front.
Yeah.
But the problem is you can never find a rock here. Because
that's the thing. There's no disc rocks.
all the rivers are frozen as well. And every time I cross a bridge, I'm like, if I had a brick, I'd be definitely trying to break the ice. And then I go me and Danny and go looking for a brick or like a stone. You can't find a stone or a brick for love nor money here. Like so.
That's the.
Because they have the place so tidy in a way, like it's kind of a compliment.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage of living in a city where that's true. You know, like not that I drop litter, but
the
this
road
place
cleaning
is
there like okay. The
nothing stays. Like if someone in the past when I've moved house, I've gone out and left like. Okay, the worst thing I ever did was leave like a 3-piece suite outside my apartment.
In China, you mean?
Yeah. But everything else, I'd left like a chest of drawers. And I swear, one time I left I think it was this chest, I left a chest of I was moving house, I brought this chest of drawers down. I set it outside my house thinking, I don't know if I'll get in trouble, maybe someone will say something. I went back upstairs to move some other stuff. When I came back down, it had gone.
Yeah.
It just went.
No, but I love that about here. But like when I used to have the bar as well, I used to like leave sometimes at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. And you see the road sweepers out, like even during autumn when the leaves drop, you'll never walk down the road here and see a bunch of leaves on the floor. They're out there sweeping them at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Same in Shanghai. I used to work on a street which was nothing but trees, and I remember like coming out of my office at one time. We worked late until 10 o'clock, and the street was covered in leaves, and I was like, Jesus. And I came in the next day, nothing, not a sign of it.
They are bang on it here. Yeah. They are bang on it. It's a very clean city in general. Next one.
The
stone one was good.
This is so funny. I love this one.
What?
We might need to watch this one again. No apologies for watching it twice. But
I was more
So
like
the-
I was more entranced by the first dude. I
so
don't know.
basically, he put his hands like locked behind his head, and his, I guess is his like dad or something, slips it in behind it, and he leans forward and he pulls him up. But the next lad gets up and doesn't even put his hands up. He just like
He's got absolute trust in his mates. This is going to work. He actually watched it happen. He knew what was happening. The other guy.
yeah, but I think he got like, I think this is genuine. I don't think this is a fake one. To be
No,
honest
because
with you.
I know it's not fake because I don't
The
think.
literal shock on his, it looks like it's his dad because they have a similar type face, but like you can see the shock in the dad's face. He's like, oh fuck. Like,
And also, I honestly think if it's very hard to just fall.
flat without putting your hands forward.
It's almost impossible. That
It's like that scene out of Only Fools and Horses. You know, the one where
when he falls through the bar.
falls through the bar. Like that is one of the people don't like. I'm sure people give it credit, but like that bit of acting, he must not have known that you know, because like you said.
No, but
for
there was
him- he did-
but there was a mat underneath him.
But he didn't even flinch. Like even if you know there's a mat there, you're definitely going to flinch a bit. Like you know,
Yeah.
he stayed solid as a rock. Like and just it's
Like I said, I
brilliant.
think I saw a video ages ago. I think it was before TikTok, but it was a guy, and again that was the most amazing thing about it, that he ran. It was an escalator, and he ran towards the top of the escalator, and then he just threw himself off the top and just went down it with his hands by his sides
Jesus.
and just landed on his face, and it was like you know, it's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
They were just videoing it. It was, I think they were like skaters just videoing something.
Yeah.
But I was thoroughly impressed that the guy, he landed on his face and he never moved his arms once. I mean, how? It's human instinct to put your fucking hands up.
Although I've noticed my two lads now start jumping off like the top of the sofa onto the sofa. Danny is older. He will like put his hands out to protect himself. The small fella doesn't. But that's because like toddlers don't have any fear. They'll run through they'll try to run through a telly because they've never done it before, so they don't understand consequences.
Yeah, so I guess
basically.
maybe it's not instinct, you learn it.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
this
learning,
guy,
yeah,
the guy who dived off the elevator.
Yeah, he's well,
The
definitely.
guy,
like,
and
yeah,
that guy and the guy who dived off the escalator, they must have already learned. They were like old enough to learn, but I don't know what he was doing there. Because he saw what the other guy was doing. He saw they had hands.
But I think he was just so excited. I think he didn't even. I think maybe he didn't notice what was going on or something. He just got
He was
super
like, that's
excited.
amazing. It's like the Smooth Criminal video, Michael Jackson. He was like, I want to go with that. Must be a magic bit of floor. Yeah. Go on, let's watch the next one.
So the next one, last week we had a few entries into we want to redo the Olympics. So remember we had the slapping one,
And
we had
the people on the boxes and the skis.
So I found a new one. This is a little bit. This is 45 seconds now, but
Just another event.
It's another event. It's worth a watch. It's worth an entry, I reckon. This is they seem to have wrapped an elastic band around two people's ears.
I'm watching it. They look
And,
intense. They look
Yeah,
intense.
let's let it roll and see what happens. Like there's rules to it. Like that woman obviously knows the rules. She's like,
Yeah, and
it's,
she was pissed. She was like,
he can't move his head. He can't move.
"Did
his
you not read the rule book?"
But I reckon I like the look of it. I think anybody can give that a
I
go.
think
so.
from what I could understand, they
think
had
they
to
basically
stay completely still, but they can only move back.
They can only move back, but they have to move back, basically.
And who wins?
I guess
The person who wins.
the person whose ear it comes off, right? Because if it comes off your ear, you're not pulling enough.
It's 6 of one, half the dozen the other, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, like I mean, you could be pulling like a motherfucker, and your ear could just fold over, like so.
Well, no, it must be the person who it comes off the ear loses, because then otherwise you just go. You just snap your head back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's a weird one.
What an amazing sport, and that was in America too. That wasn't in some
No,
like sort of mad country,
Mad
was
place,
it?
yeah. No.
Not that America is mad, isn't it? At the moment. Yeah, I mean, it's in there.
Yeah,
As
I
far
think
as I'm
that's in our
concerned.
new.
You know, I don't have any sway with the Olympic Committee, but if I did,
This is so we have the Special Olympics. We're not going to. We'll still keep the Special Olympics.
You
Of
can't
course.
say it's in the Special Olympics.
No.
I think they were all right.
We're going to have the alternative Olympics.
Okay, yeah,
Where
yeah.
basically anybody can join in. You don't have to
We have box skiing,
Yeah.
Russian frozen river ice cream eating. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
And what that one? When they were just slapping the shit out of each other and running around
Yeah.
on a 5-acre field.
Yeah.
That's, that's
literally,
the pitch.
Nobody gets the rules. Bit like cricket. Just you can explain cricket to me 700 times, still don't know it. But
And elastic band sculling.
yeah.
I do think. I mean, they probably don't, but they must in the Olympics. They do often. They sometimes they think, oh well, because I
think
remember.
a
I remember.
certain
I remember
amount-
there was a big thing about whether darts was going to go in it,
And rugby was another one as well.
and everyone was like, "You're not having darts."
But I think when I was quite an advocate for rugby getting into it, seen as soccer.
Of course,
was in
rugby
it.
should be in it. It's not
But
in
I
it.
think it's something to do with how many nations play it on a professional level.
Okay, then none of these have got any fucking chance.
No, but this is going to be a completely separate Olympics. Where
I see.
they can do their fancy one, and we'll do our alternative Olympics.
I would love to have the first alternative Olympics in Tianjin.
Yeah, in the back of a field somewhere. In the
Yeah.
back of a field. What's that? I don't even know what that is. But
With all your old people.
yeah, up the back of Vanguard or something. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And then we'll round off the end of it. We couldn't have a TikTok review without our old Russian friend.
Oh, he's back. Oh, I just mentioned him.
Yeah. I found out his name. I did a bit of research on him today. It's Sergey. I was calling him Ivan or something.
I mean, we'll easily be able to find him if he's called Sergey and he's from Russia. Should be no problem.
But there's an article. I'll put a link to it, or I'll put it in the description below or whatever. But
Let's make one more. I just want to make one more appeal for Sergey to get in touch, man.
yeah.
If he
Although he's a fucking superstar, man. He's got 1.6 million followers on
I am
TikTok.
not surprised. But all I'm saying is, if he chances upon this podcast, get in touch, Sergey.
Yes. If you're anywhere near in the Tianjin area, you're on, mate. You can be our first guest.
Definitely.
So let's see what Sergey is up to today.
What's he doing this week? He looks cold, man. He looks cold today.
It's caviar.
Sergey.
But you're right, though. He looks so healthy. Like
He does, doesn't
I reckon there's something in it.
His skin shines.
Yeah, and even I reckon he's in his 50s. Is he?
I mean, it's impossible to tell because he's obviously. I mean, look, he's living in some beautiful place, clear air. I'm desperate to have a word with this guy.
Yeah. He's a legend.
You know, I'd really like to meet him if we could.
Yeah.
So, once more, an appeal for Sergey. If you know who he is, please put him in touch.
Exactly. We'd love to have him on.
All right, finished with the videos. That was
That's
it.
it.
That was a good crop this week.
That was a good one. I tried to keep it
I laughed
short
a
and
lot.
sweet.
I laughed a
Yeah.
lot this week, and maybe you're bringing me around to TikTok after.
But see, that
5
was
weeks.
probably a week's worth of work. To
Well,
try
I
and find
appreciate
those.
it. I appreciate it, Jason, because
No, what I'm saying is, let me bring you the cream of TikTok
Yeah.
rather than you waste. I already turned my wife into a crack addict by getting her on it, and I feel guilty about that. I don't want to get you on it. I'll just bring you the good stuff.
you won't, because I'm lazy as fuck, and I'm never ever going to download it myself. I'd rather just dip into Jason's,
Maybe one
lucky
day I
dip
should
of
bring you
TikTok.
this, the stuff that I have to go through to show you that, look, don't do it.
You'll ruin it. You'll ruin the illusion. As far as every time now when people ask me about TikTok, I'll be like, "Oh, that's an amazing website." Yeah, they do 4 videos a week. Sergey's on it.
Even when
They've got elastic band sculling.
my
It's
brother was
brilliant.
only 2 years younger than me, but he was asking me about the podcast and stuff and what do we do, and he was like, "What's that TikTok thing about? Is that he was same as us? So not everybody knows about it." So I just want to kind of put a disclaimer out there. They're not all as good as those videos.
What do you
Even-
mean? Your brother said to you, "What's that TikTok?"
Yeah, he didn't really know either, but like he's. I might as well drop that now. We're probably going to end up having a few guests on. My brother has put himself forward as being one of the guests. I think.
I would love to have a
Going forward, like you're going to get sick of hearing me and Finn's 101s, for example, or something like that. So we'll try and get more new people in and like.
What did you say your brother's name was? Luke.
Luke, yeah.
I'd love to meet Luke.
Luke and you are not too far apart now, to be honest with you. Like, so you'll like him. You'll like him.
I can't. Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
TikTok done.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to the final section, current affairs. This week is Finn's turn.
Yeah. Normally, like we have mentioned Panda Guides a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it was pretty weak over the last few days.
I to be honest, I didn't have much time to read much of Panda Guys this week, but I've had a couple of text messages from Finn. He's not impressed with Panda Guys. He basically was like, Jesus, they've gone a bit lame. They've gone a lot of selling books and stuff. There wasn't too much, a lot of...
Yeah, it was just like, there was, obviously they had serial killers on, as they normally do, but I don't really want to talk about that kind of stuff. But but no, they didn't have any sort of weird, sort of...
relatively upbeat, but...
just like random shit. They didn't really have any, so... But the Sun came to the rescue.
The Sun from Ireland, UK, okay, we're going into Western media.
It was actually my little brother that sent me this, and I think he sent it me because we've got when I went down, my little brother also lives in China, in Hangzhou, and he had a mate there from Hull, and we just kind of used to take the mickey out of Hull a little bit, and he was all for it. He was a funny guy, called Joe, and I think this probably came from this. I don't know whether he sent it to my brother or anything. But anyway, there was a report in The Sun that a woman had escaped, maybe something like 8 years ago, but she'd escaped the Iraq-Syria conflict. It wasn't clear where she came from. It just said she came from Iraq and Syria, which doesn't really make any sense. But but it said that she'd come here 8 years ago, and she'd got a council house in Hull. Now she's in The Sun saying, Hull's just as bad as Iraq. And it was a big story. She said, I thought, good God, if you've come from...
How could it be as bad as Iraq?
That's what she said. I think she wants to go back.
Was there any context?
The headline is something like...
Sorry, people of Hull, for laughing at you, but
it's like, I've never been to Hull, but it's, like I said, it was funny because I also know this guy from Hull and we used to take the piss a little bit, and he did too. But the headline is basically like, refugee from Iraq says, and then quote, Hull just as bad as Iraq. That's what it said. And then it had pictures of the council house she got into, and she was, and it was things like bedridden mum has to open window because of damp, and showed all this stuff around. I'm like, damp? You just come from a war zone. That's what I thought. But then. But
it does show that like humans are so fickle, aren't they? Like I find myself whinging about stuff, and you're kind of then you get smacked with a bit of reality and kind of go, what am I whinging about?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I honestly thought that. I thought it doesn't matter where you come from. You end up in Hull and you're like, fuck this.
I want to go back to Iraq.
Yeah.
At least it's not damp.
Yeah. It also made me think that I think there's a lot of countries, isn't there?
And no offense to people from Iraq now either, but our
Syria, but it's not that good at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. We know. I'm sure Iraq was a great country at some stage, but it's gone through a bit of shit.
If I was living in Syria and someone told me you could move to Hull, I'd jump at it. Yeah, I'd take their hand off.
I'm sure you would.
But then it's not, it's not as it seems. But it also made me think. There's also people in this country, I think, that or people in other countries, and we are lucky, aren't we, to come from the countries that we come from? I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe not if you're from Hull, but but generally we're lucky. But
Stoke-on-Trent is seemingly not great either.
Oh, easy. My brother-in-law's from Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh, sorry.
He's going to listen to this.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people that think, especially here, they think like if I get to England or America, everything's gravy. That's what they think, innit? And it's not. It's not perfect. You know, we do have dodgy fucking areas, don't we?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, this is the other thing I think is, like, every city you go to in England, not just Hull, but like, I come from Chester, which is a pretty nice city, but it's got dodgy areas.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Cork, but I imagine Cork's got some pretty dicey.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Areas,
You mentioned you've seen the Young Offenders, like.
Yeah, I love that.
Young Offenders is fucking. I've only discovered it thanks to Finn recently. My family had
Oh,
mentioned.
I introduced that to you.
My family had mentioned it to me before, but I kind of, because a lot of the comedies that were made in Ireland, they end up being a bit. I'm not there because RTE were a bit dry. The RTE is our national TV stations. I was thinking, this is going to be crap, like, because they actually turned down Father Ted as well. You know, the series.
It's fucking brilliant.
RTE turned it down because they thought it was going to
Like reflect badly on Ireland.
Exactly. So Channel 4 took it up and it ended up being a massive success. And I'm sure RTE were like, oh, shit.
That's ridiculous. If you can't take the piss out of yourself, you're a
but
fucking idiot.
That's why I thought this is going to be a bit dry and a bit bland. But the minute I turned the Young Offenders on, I was like, oh my God. And like everything in it, I know everywhere where they are. I know they're running down the stairs at one stage. I know exactly where it is.
Is that when he's got the mask? Is that when he's got the mask?
Yeah, I've ran down that stairs myself.
And they're all like, what does he call himself?
Fake for fake.
Yeah, I love it when he goes past that guy and the guy pats him on the shoulder and goes, all right, fake Teddy. He's like, he's become a bit of a fucking hero in my town.
Best show ever. Like, and then they run through the English market, where I used to buy my food. And the fishmonger the woman works for is the actual fishmonger, like.
Oh, really?
The bald guy is actually, I used to buy my fish off him.
Okay, because you know I've only seen the Young Offenders movie.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to watch the TV series with you.
I have the first season here. I'm trying to get the rest of it. It's so good.
But I just really think that like people should understand, you know, because I meet like students sometimes and they can't wait to get to England. And I'm not, it's not that I want to say England's bad. I just want to temper expectations. It's not, I think some people have an idea that like, oh, I'm just going to go there and it's like the streets are paved with gold.
No, it's not. Like,
yeah,
every city has...
and this was the other thing I was going to say. Like, this is what I was saying before. Like, Chester, where I live, of course, has dodgy areas. Cork has dodgy areas. Every city you go to in England has a dodgy area where people go like, well, just be careful on there kind of thing. And I don't think there is any dodgy areas in Tianjin.
Well, funny you mentioned that.
Or dodgy areas in any Chinese cities.
I asked Angel, like, what I think you actually asked me to ask her, like, what's a rough part of Tianjin? And she said around here, which I thought was weird because here around here seems kind of posh to me. Like, but then I did go to, like, Mayfield Community School and stuff like that, which is similar to the Young Offenders guys. Yeah. But, like, the other thing is, just because, like, you know, they're rough areas doesn't mean they're bad people either.
Of course not.
Loads of those people are fucking salt of the earth as well. Like, I used to hang around with them. So like, and it's just so weird how you do start complaining about stuff like when you're in, you know.
Well, this is what
you'll always find something to complain about. And like, my mother was actually telling me one time, I was working in Cork Airport. We were doing the extension there, and it was very, very cold. But it was only like 0 degrees but it had wind and rain. But she had bumped into I have to find the right term now. I want to say Eskimo, but I know Eskimo is not the right term.
Inuit.
An Inuit lady living in Cork City. She fucking couldn't handle the weather, man. She was freezing constant. She was like, it's so cold there. And she came from like, I don't know, the North Pole or something. But it's because...
How does that even? I don't understand.
Because it's the wind and the rain. The wind and the rain makes you feel like I cycled here last week. It was -14. I cycled here with a hoodie and a pair of gloves and a scarf on. if I went out in the wind and the rain in Ireland with that, I'd be dead within fucking
Yeah,
5
that's
minutes,
definitely
like.
true. Yeah, I suppose if it's very cold but everything's still, it's all
And
good,
dry,
isn't it?
and dry,
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Anyway, this news report, it just made me. Well, I'll just say a little bit more about this news report, because this woman's complaining that Hull's as bad as Iraq. They were her words, not mine. And she's also
It's the best line ever.
and she was saying, she complained about the house and she can't get a new house, and and she's sick as well. Now she's got some kind of like lung infection because of the damp or something. And she was complaining about the landlord and the council and all this. And in fairness, the landlord and the council were quoted as well in the papers saying that the landlord said he tried to go round to the house to fix, but they wouldn't allow them entrance to the house. So I don't know. Maybe she's a bit scared. Maybe.
Or maybe she's just looking for 15 minutes of fame as well.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she didn't speak English. She didn't understand what was going on. But there's obviously two sides to every story. But it was just, what the Sun are like for sensations quotes.
It's a great quote, though.
That was the quote. But then it made me think about, like, I wonder if you could, like, gather up all the headlines from, like, Hull and just see what they were all about. I mean, just, like, mad stuff, like, man from Hull owns 2 shoes, convicted of robbery. What fucking, I don't know. KFC advert given best short film in Hull Film Festival. I don't know what it would be, but but it just made me think, like, I just think it's mad to come from a war zone and
But I also
you end up in Hull and you're still whinging.
No, I hope people won't start. Oh, she's so ungrateful, blah blah blah. But I guarantee you, they took that well out of context. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying she's ungrateful. I think if but people do deserve a decent place to live. If she's not
course
got
they
it,
do.
she's not got it. So whether she comes from Iraq or not,
the media have this way of like you know what I mean? She
Yeah, of
probably
course.
like
she was probably like, it's not
she
as
was
good as
probably
I thought.
asked like how are you settling into England? She went, you know what I mean? It's all right. Like my house is a bit damp, blah blah blah. My house was better in Iraq or something, and then they went, oh, let's use this headline.
Yeah.
I'm better off in Iraq. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful that we.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's not
But that was we actually used to do these headlines with Joe, this guy from Hull, and he got into it as well. But it just went on all night. It was just like a sort of running gag, just going, what headlines would you see from Hull? Like, Hull man gains GCSE.
But this one is I love when you get gifted one. Like I know what you mean. Like you're
Yeah.
constantly taking the piss out of a lad for.
He was doing it as well, so it was all
Yeah.
good. He'll know this as well, but yeah, it was fine. Like, Hull man has baby, doesn't know who mother is. I can just imagine some of the headlines. But then, like I said, I mean, Hull's the target now, but this could happen in any town in England, couldn't it? I think.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So yeah, Court, you got any comments? Any more? Well, one question I was going to ask you was, when did Angel first go to Cork?
She went in 2001. I only know that because after a couple of weeks of her arriving, we had September 11th. So.
Oh right.
Yeah,
And when you went, and how long was that after you met her? When did you meet her? 98.
98. Yeah.
When she was going to Cork, was that the first time she'd ever been out of the country?
Yeah.
What was she? Was she like, oh my god, I'm going to?
Oh,
Ireland.
because basically, like obviously she had plans.
She'd never seen The Young Offenders.
No, it wasn't out then. That's fucking, how long ago was that? Well, anyway, I can't do the maths now, but I had bigged up like Cork City as like second biggest city in Ireland, blah blah blah. She had originally planned to go to London to study, and I convinced her to go to Ireland instead with me. And like our Cork has about 300,000 people.
I just wonder what her impressions was.
Oh,
was she
It was
surprised?
fucking hilarious. I went down and even to be honest with you, I was a bit surprised because I had spent so much time at Tangin at that stage that when I went back to Cork, we went down and it was even, we went down there at a Saturday at like lunchtime, so it would be like really busy for Cork, right? And she just stood there in the middle of St. Patrick's Street.
14 people wondering about.
She was like, "Where are all the people?" And I was like, "No, this is pretty much it." Like, and then even what made it even better is as I was walking down the road, I like started bumping into people that I knew. So I was like, "All right, Jay. All right, Jay. All right, Jay." And she was like, "Do you fucking know everybody?"
That's what I was just wondering what it was like. for Angel when she first arrived in this.
She thought it was like, to be honest with
Did she
you,
think it was quaint?
she was only 18 now as well. Like when I was 21, she was 18. So like like Chinese people, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but they're a little
No
bit,
good sentence ever starts like that, mate.
no, but
Go
they're
on.
a little bit more innocent than their like Irish counterparts. Like so, an 18-year-old.
Well, with regards to travel, yeah, all right, yeah, fine.
No, like an 18-year-old Irish girl or guy will know way more, like when it comes to, sex and drugs and all that stuff than an 18-year-old Chinese.
Yeah.
Because and this is nothing to do with governments or anything, their parents do shelter them a bit more. And to be honest with you, I'd rather my kids grow up in this environment where they are a bit more sheltered, because I think people should be left be a little bit innocent for longer, because there's plenty of time for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
We definitely grow up too quick.
we
don't
grow up
you?
way too quick, and you know about like sex and stuff like when you're 14, and like I'm not saying they don't know it here. Of course they know it here, but
Can't get it, but know about it.
it's getting a bit more like the West here now. But like when I came first, they were super innocent. Like, but when she arrived, like I think so, there was a mixture of her being homesick and stuff like that. But no, I actually showed her the start of the Young Offenders the other day, and I could see but unfortunately the two kids were in the room and the lads were effing and blinding, like, so we had to turn it off. But I could see she was like, I want to watch that immediately.
Can she, let me ask, because obviously Angel is Jason's wife, and and I just think it's amazing because when she speaks English, she
has a bit of an Irish twang. I
I
don't
not
hear
a bit
it.
of an Irish twang.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
She
at
sounds
all, like.
exactly like you when she speaks, and it's just brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. And so can she understand everything they're saying? Because I'm like, sometimes I'm like, what?
Pretty much like, yeah. No, but it's I don't think she'd like move back there like in a heartbeat, but I don't think she'd have a problem to move back there either, because I think she what she missed from China was like the convenience of China. China's like, there's a shop literally within spitting distance of you. There's a restaurant. There's hundreds of restaurants. There's thousands of ways to get food to your house and blah blah blah. In Ireland, it's a bit, you can't get McDonald's delivered to your door or whatever.
I think that must be stressful for anyone who comes from like a big city. Tianjin's a massive city where you've got, like you said,
14 million people or 12 million people or something.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 times the population of the entire island of Ireland.
Yeah, and you've got you've got everything on your doorstep, and then all of a sudden you're just like in a sort of, well, it's a beautiful rural setting, but it's like, what the fuck's going on? It must be scary to just have no noise and no hustle and bustle.
The part that I love about it is like, oh, listen, it's 10 o'clock and you can't hear a peep. She's like, why is it so quiet? What happened? Do you know
She's
what I mean?
freaking out. Well, well, maybe you can move to Hull.
Heard it's worse than Iraq.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was an interesting story, and I thought, and it also made me want to ask you about Angel's experience when she went to England, because it's hard for us to comprehend what it's like to go to England
But the
or
thing
Ireland
is,
for the first time.
she spent about 8 years there, and like she liked it. She never like complained, I want to go home, I want to go home. But she was I never felt the feeling that she was going to stay there forever. But now that she's out of it, I can see she it's almost like a romantic vision.
She can appreciate
she's
it
like,
now.
I wouldn't mind going back there, because she can see that it has its benefits, that everybody knows everybody, and it's not a huge city, and people are in general like friendly to each other. I'm not saying people are not friendly here, but when you have 14 million people living in a small area, relatively small area,
Well,
people stop caring about each other so much. But when you're like only a few people in an area, you start to kind of get to know them, because you see the same face over and over again and things like that. Like so, and like when she seen the market now and stuff like that, she was like, "Wow, that market looks so awesome." Was it always? I was like, "Yeah, it always looked like that." Because we're kind of used to, they're not as nice as the ones that we have back in Europe,
Yeah, well, now she appreciates it, looking back. At the time, she was probably like, where's the fucking chicken's feet?
Yeah. And then, but in fairness, as small as Cork is, they opened 2 Asian shops, and she used to and that was the thing, that it was like the flip side for, so when I was in China at that time, it was hard to get Western products. So, I was paying 60 RMB for a box of cornflakes or something like that. And so then when she went to Ireland, she like found an Asian shop and she could buy like dumplings, right? But it was like 10 quid for like what she'd pay like 10 RMB here for. So I was like, nah, now you know how it feels.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Current affairs.
Decent story.
Sorry to Hull. Let's just say that. No offense meant to Hull. You know.
Or Iraq, in fairness.
Yeah. All right. Current affairs. So that's the end of this week's podcast. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you.
I said again.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to say it a lot. Yeah, so if you like it, as we always say, hit the old like button and subscribe.
Please subscribe. That's
And
what we
leave
need.
comments as well. We like to get feedback. Even if it's shit feedback, we like to get feedback because we like doing these podcasts, but we also want people to listen to them at the end of the day as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if there's something in it there that we're doing that you don't like, just let us know. We probably won't listen anyway, but
It'd be interesting to know.
yeah, exactly. We'd like to mold it into something that everybody wants to listen to. Like so. Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you.